Zhang Liang barked orders the moment she entered. Her sharp voice cut through the house. Next dish? What's taking so long? The whole family is waiting. Just for you. Have you no concept of manners? I carried out the last dish, rib and corn soup. The clay pot was scorching. I held it with 2 damp rags. Every step was a prayer. My first weekend hosting family dinner since marrying in. Zhao Yuqin said the old man craved home cooking. Xianwan took it to heart. I went to the supermarket 2 days early to handpick the ribs. I was up at 6 a.m. blanching the meat, skimming the scum. I stood in front of that stove for nearly 4 hours. 8 dishes and a soup. I wasn't looking for a medal. I just wanted one day without being criticized. But the moment Zhang Liang walked in, I knew today was going to be another trial. Zhang Liang didn't come alone. Her husband Wang Jiqing followed, holding 6-year-old Tao Dao. The audio from Tao Dao's tablet was blaring, filling the entire living room with the inane noise of cartoons. Wang Jiqing tossed his briefcase onto the sofa. He squinted, scanning the dishes on the table without a word. But his expression screamed, "Is this it?" Zhang Liang casually peeled off her coat. Without looking, she thrust it at Xianwan. "Hang this. And be careful. The fabric is expensive." Xianwan, still holding the scalding clay pot, flinched and shifted sideways. "Sis, my hands are full with the soup. Can't you just put it down? Do I really need to spell this out?" Zhang Liang's brow furrowed. "Mom. You always say she's clumsy. I never believed you. But now I see you were right." Heat rushed to my cheeks. I quickly set the soup down in the center of the table, turned around, and took the coat. I carefully hung it on the innermost hook in the foyer. By the time I turned back, the table was full. My father-in-law, Zhang Deshan, sat in his usual throne at the head. My mother-in-law, Zhao Yuqin, sat to his right. My brother-in-law Wang Jibin slumped, scrolling his phone. Wang Jiqing was busy pulling his thermos out of a bag. Tao Dao had already spread his toy cars all over the table. My husband, Wang Jiwei, sat beside the seat I usually take, busy picking peanuts for Tao Dao. "Nuanwan, come, sit down." Wang Jiwei looked up and smiled at me. A familiar smile, yet hiding something unreachable. Xianwan nodded and was about to sit down. Then mother-in-law Zhao Yuqin spoke. "Now we're all here. So, set the table, everyone." Xianwan stood up again to fetch the bowls from the kitchen. Zhang Liang sat across from her, slowly pulling out wet wipes one by one to clean her hands. Her eyes fixed on Xianwan. "Dishes aren't dry." She tilted the bowl to the light, turning it. "See? Rim's still wet. Wipe twice." Xianwan said softly. "Then you're wiping wrong. Smears everywhere." Running a household is all about the details. If you're this sloppy, how do you plan on managing a home? Xianwan didn't say a word. She bowed, handing bowls out. Father-in-law first. The second was for her mother-in-law. Then Wang Jiwei, Wang Jibin, Wang Jiqing, Tao Dao, and finally, Zhang Liang's. She was thinking of the proper order, following the family hierarchy. But the moment Zhang Liang got her bowl, her face turned sour. "Xianwan. What is the meaning of this?" She slammed the bowl onto the table. A few grains of rice bounced out. "I'm last? Do I just not exist to you?" Xianwan froze for a second. "Sis, I was just going in order." "What order? The order of your own little selfish, scheming rules?" Zhang Liang's voice spiked. "I'm older than you. I'm the almighty sister-in-law in this family. You should have served me first. Instead, you put me dead last. Is this the kind of manners your folks taught you?" The moment she heard the words "your folks," the blood rushed to Xianwan's head. Her parents taught school. Honest, decent lives. Before the wedding, when Wang Jiwei visited, her parents served his favorite dishes and drinks. When he left, they even slipped him 2,000 yuan to buy clothes, saying, "Our girl is stubborn, so just be patient with her." Tears stung. "Sis. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking. Let me get you a fresh bowl." Xianwan reached out to take the bowl in front of Zhang Liang. "Now you think of it? It's too late." Zhang Liang slapped the table hard. The bowls and plates clattered. Tao Dao jolted in fright, yelled with him, Tao Dao was scared, and burst out crying loudly. Wang Jiqing quickly pulled his son into his arms to soothe him. Zhang set down chopsticks. "Liang. It's the weekend. Can't we just talk this through calmly? Dad. Don't act like I'm making trouble out of nothing." Zhang Liang turned to her father. "She's rude. I'm teaching her a lesson, Mom. Isn't that right?" "A single piece of vegetable." Chewing it deliberately. After a pause, she said, Nuan is careless. Lying, as her elder, is only trying to help by pointing it out. One casual sentence, but it sealed the verdict on the whole situation. Mom has spoken. Zhang Liying became even more emboldened. She turned back to Xianwan. What's wrong with me saying a few words to you? Married into the Zhang family over a year, and you still can't cook. Can't even wash dishes. Useless here or elsewhere? Mom holds Jiwei's paycheck for him. It's to stop you wasting money. Be grateful. Not throwing a tantrum. Xianwan's face flushed white, then red. She clenched her fingers, nails digging deep into her palms, forcing down the fire burning inside her with sheer will. Wang Jiwei muttered softly beside her, sis. Nuan has been busy all morning. That's enough, alright? What do you mean, enough? Zhang Liying shot him a death glare. Jiwei, you can't even control your own wife. And now you're defending her? If she knew her place, would I have to waste my breath? Wang Jiwei's lips twitched. He went silent, head buried in his bowl. Xianwan stared at the back of her husband's head. It felt like someone had stuffed a ball of wet cotton in her chest. Suffocating, unable to breathe. Zhang Liying wasn't done. She stood up, walked around half the table and stopped right in front of Xianwan, staring down at her imperiously. Stand up. Xianwan didn't move. I said, stand up. Zhang Liying's voice was sharp as tearing silk. The dining table fell into dead silence. Everyone watched the two of them. Wang Zhibin put his phone face down on the table, watching with morbid fascination. Zhao Yuqin held her bowl, looking down as she sipped her soup. Zhang Deshan sighed, got up, and shuffled towards the balcony. Wang Zhicheng, holding Taodao, stepped back. Wang Jiwei finally looked up. Sis. Don't. Before he could finish, Zhang Liying raised her hand and swung with her entire arm. She smacked Xianwan clean across the left cheek. The slap was sharp and merciless. The sound cracked through the dining room like a whip. Xianwan's head snapped violently to the side. A piercing ring filled her ears. Left cheek swelled instantly, red welts rose. A searing, hot pain. The saliva pooling in her mouth tasted like rust. Her tongue traced the wound, her cheek was split open. Vision blacked out, world refocused slowly. No one at the table said a word. No one at the table said a word. Zhao Yuqin just kept sipping her soup. Spoon clinked rhythmically against the bowl. Wang Zhibin smirked, half-formed. Zhiqing pulled Taodao's head to his chest, shielding his eyes. Wang Jiwei shot to his feet. His chair shrieked across the floor, a harsh, ugly sound. His mouth opened. His face flushed crimson. But no words came. That slap? A little lesson, on behalf of your folks. Zhang Liying flexed her wrist. Lesson in manners, being a proper wife. You married into the Zhang family. You live by our rules now. Today me. Tomorrow, strangers slap you. That'd be far more humiliating. Slowly, Xianwan turned her head back. 5 distinct, swollen welts now marred her left cheek. Pale lips, brutal sight. She didn't cry. Not a single tear. Met Zhang Liying's cold, perfect mask. Her gaze swept the table, Zhao Yuqin's icy indifference. Wang Zhibin's quiet, entertained cruelty. Wang Zhicheng's cowardly avoidance. And Wang Jiwei, his eyes darting away, a portrait of shame. He couldn't even hold her stare. And suddenly, Xianwan smiled. Smile tugged the wound, sharp, grinding pain. But she smiled anyway. It was a light smile, weightless. Yet it sent a strange, inexplicable chill down Zhang Liying's spine. Why are you smiling? Zhang snapped. Xianwan didn't answer. She just rose, quietly. She took a slow, silent step back from the table. Turned to the table's main spread. The clay pot of pork rib soup still sat there, heavy and earthy. Milky white broth. Golden slices of corn. Dark, glistening red dates. Steam rose, she'd cooked 2 hours. Skimming the foam. Tending the flame. Adding the herbs. Every step a performance of pure anxiety. Terrified one ruined pot marked her useless. Now, a hollow laugh choked her. Xianwan picked up the clay pot. What are you doing? Zhao Yuqin finally put down her bowl. She stared at her warily. The soup's cold. Don't bother serving it. Before she could finish, Xianwan held the pot with both hands. She flung it. The scalding pork rib soup, along with the corn cobs, red dates, and meaty bones, traced a milky white arc through the air, crashing down squarely onto Zhang Liying. Ah! A shrill scream pierced the ceiling. Zhang Liying's silk blouse was instantly drenched in broth. Grease in her hair, corn chunk on her shoulder. A rib bone smacked her chest and bounced onto the floor. She looked as if she had been doused in a bucket of hot oil. Jumping up and frantically batting at her neck and arms. It's burning me. Mom. It hurts. She howled as she staggered backward, slipping and knocking over a chair. Stumbling, she crashed to the floor, covered in greasy soup. The living room erupted into absolute chaos. Tao shrieked in terror, crying loudly. Wang Jiqing scrambled to carry the child into the bedroom. Wang Jibin shot up from his seat. He didn't even glance at the phone he'd dropped on the floor. His eyes widened in shock at the scene. Zhao Yuqing's chopsticks clattered onto the table. Her mouth agape, her knuckles turned white as she clenched her fist. She fixed a death glare on Xianwan. Finally, she choked out, "Have you lost your mind?" Zhang Dashan rushed back from the balcony. Seeing the mess and his wailing daughter on the floor, every wrinkle on his face trembled. His lips quivered with rage, but no sound came out. Wang Jiwei was the last to react. His face went from red to chalk white. He stormed around the table, stopping right in front of Xianwan. His voice was trembling. "Xianwan, what the hell is wrong with you?" Xianwan put the empty clay pot back on the table. The base hit the glass Lazy Susan with a dull thud. She lifted her head. The 5 finger marks were clear on her face. Her eyes blazed. "What did I do?" "He slapped me. I gave her a pot of soup in return. An eye for an eye." "Bullshit." Zhang Liang scrambled up from the floor, struggling. Scallions in her hair, blouse stuck to her skin, revealing red burn marks. Her face twisted in pure hatred. She jabbed a finger at Xianwan's nose. "That's assault. I'm calling the cops." "Call the cops?" Xianwan turned to look at her. A slight smirk played on her lips. "Fine. Go ahead. Call them. Maybe you can ask them to check the bruises on my face. While they see your mess." I grabbed a hot pot. "Look at how badly you burned yourself. That was self-defense. I'll pay for the blouse." "You? That's assault." "You really think the cops will care?" Zhang Liang was left speechless. She couldn't come up with a single word to fight back. Zhao Yuqing finally snapped out of it. She slammed her hand on the table and shot up, pointing a trembling finger at Xianwan. "You are out of control. Liang is the almighty sister-in-law. She was disciplining you for your own good. Instead of being grateful, you dare to throw something at her? How did your folks raise you? Have you no manners?" "My mother taught me to be reasonable." Xianwan turned around to face her mother-in-law. "I spent 4 hours cooking this meal today. Too salty or bland, I'll fix it. Not meticulous? I'll improve." "But her." Xianwan pointed at Zhang Liang. "The second she walked in, she had an attitude. She slapped me right in front of the whole family. And you're telling me she was trying to teach me something? My mom spoiled me for 20 years, never hit me once. Your daughter wants to do my parents' job? Is she even worthy? You." Zhao Yuqing was so choked up her chest heaved. Her face turned a disgusting shade of purple. Liang grabbed the towel and wiped herself frantically, while wailing, "Mom, look at him. He still dares to talk back. He threw hot soup at me. Look at these red marks. He's trying to disfigure me." Xianwan looked at this chaotic, squawking family. Suddenly, she felt drained. A year of exhaustion hit at once. From the day she married into the Zhang family, she hadn't had a single good night's sleep. Her salary card went to her mother-in-law, who claimed youth can't save. Mom will keep it safe. Her parents paid most of the house deposit, but the deed only had Wang Jiwei's name on it. The excuse? Adding her name post-wedding was the same. She cooked and cleaned at the estate every weekend, serving everyone, yet no one ever said thanks. She thought if she just endured it, things would get better. That slap today woke her up. This endurance? It has no end. "Wang Jiwei." Xianwan called her husband's name. Wang Jiwei flinched violently. He looked up at her, his eyes filled with sheer panic. "You heard what your mother just said? She said your sister hit me for my own good. And that me throwing soup at her means I have no manners." Xianwan fixed her gaze on him, enunciating every single word. "You tell me. Whose side are you on?" Wang Jiwei's lips trembled. He glanced at the bruised left side of Xianwan's face, then at his wailing sister on the floor, and his livid mother. Sweat beaded on his forehead. Nuan, she probably acted on impulse. Mom was just anxious, too. Just apologize first, make amends. We'll shut the door and handle this as a family. A family? Xianwan cut him off. What did you say when she was hitting me? When your sister slapped me across the face. Did you even open your mouth? And now you're asking me to apologize? Wang Jiwei just stood there with his mouth open. No words came out. Silence filled the living room. Only Tao Tao's cries came from the bedroom. Muffled, like they were coming from behind a thick wall. Wang Zhibin bent down and picked up his phone. He unlocked the screen and silently started the video recording. The camera was aimed right at Xianwan. Xianwan didn't notice her brother-in-law's little move. She stared at Wang Jiwei, his hesitant, cowardly face. The last warmth in her heart died. Fine. She nodded. Her voice soft. You don't have to choose. I'll choose. She turned and headed for the door. Xianwan, you stop right there, Zhao Yuqin shrieked. Walk out that door, and don't come back. Xianwan's footsteps paused for a split second. She turned her head, looking at her mother-in-law's livid face, at Zhang Liying's pathetic, wretched state, and at Wang Jiwei's face, like his world was ending. She reached down, opened the bottom drawer, fishing out her old canvas bag. Inside, there was only her phone, keys, and her ID card. Everything else, her coat was hanging in the hallway. Her things were in the bedroom closet. She couldn't take them now. I'll get my things later. She zipped the bag. Then she pointed a finger at Wang Jiwei. Figure out this divorce business and give me a call. Your mom wants to hoard her ATM card? Fine. What I earned out there myself. I couldn't care less. The house is yours. But that slap? You owe me an explanation, she stressed the word. She flung the door open. Cold night air rushed in, rattling the living room curtains. She stepped out in one stride. The door slammed shut behind her. Zhang Liying's furious sobbing, Zhao Yuqin's hysterical shrieking, and Wang Jiwei's shouts were all sealed off behind that door panel. The motion sensor light in the hallway flickered on, a dim yellow glow illuminating the dead silence. Xianwan leaned on the wall, left cheek swollen and burning. Her ears were still ringing, and her fingers wouldn't stop trembling. Clutching her canvas bag to her chest, she crouched down. Her knees hit the cold tile floor with a dull ache. She buried her face in her arm, shoulders trembling briefly. No sound came out. She couldn't cry. After about a minute or two, she heard the door open again, then hurried steps. Wang Jiwei had chased after her. Nuan, please don't go. It's freezing out here. He rushed over to grab her arm. Xianwan shot up and stepped back 2 paces. Back to the wall, canvas bag raised like a shield. Stay back. Wang Jiwei froze. He was wearing slippers. No jacket, shivering violently in the cold. He wore that classic I messed up, please come back face. Xianwan used to fall for this act. Now, it just seemed pathetic. Go back inside. I'm staying at a friend's place tonight. Call me when you decide on the divorce. I won't. Wang Jiwei's voice cracked instantly. Nuan, I was a jerk today. I know I messed up. Please come back so we can talk this through. Xianwan stared at him for a few seconds. Wang Jiwei? When your sister hit me, you just stood there watching. Now you say you messed up? Where exactly? Wang Jiwei choked on his words. You didn't do anything wrong. Xianwan answered for him. You're just used to being a spectator. When your sister went too far, you spectated. When your mom made those snide, insulting remarks, you spectated. And when I got slapped across the face, you spectated again. You see everything. But you do nothing. A man like you. She paused, her voice dropping to a faint whisper. I can't live like this. She turned to the elevator. She hurried in and the doors shut. All in one clean, fluid motion. She gave Wang Jiwei no chance to catch up. Inside the descending elevator, she leaned on the steel wall, watching the floor numbers tick down one by one. Her mind was a chaotic, spiraling mess. While slicing ginger, I thought of his stomach, so I'd braise the ribs longer. At the supermarket, I checked 3 ears of corn for full kernels. The veggie seller praised my pick. I did so much. I thought about so many things, and got a slap and cold stares for it. The elevator reached the ground floor with a ding. She stepped out. She crossed the lobby, pushed the glass door, and the icy wind bit her face. Her left side ached more. Under a streetlight, she pulled out her phone. She scrolled contacts, thumb hovering over names. Can't call mom and dad. They'd lose their minds if they found out. My best friend is probably working late, can't really drop everything. Finally, she dialed. 3 rings. Hello? Nuan? Why are you calling at this hour? The voice on the other end was crisp and efficient. It was her cousin, Chen Shui. Xianwan breathed deep, but her voice shook. She opened her mouth and the tears just spilled out. Cousin? Can I crash at your place tonight? There was a 2-second silence on Chen Shui's end. Where are you? Send me your location. I'll be there in 20 minutes. No, I'll get a cab. Just send the address. Xianwan hadn't sent it from home. Chen Shui asked again, did you grab a coat? Wait there. Don't wander off. The call ended. Xianwan clutched her phone and crouched down on the curb. Headlights from passing cars swept over her face. It ached. And her heart felt hollow. But for some reason, crouching there, she suddenly felt like she could breathe again. Like a year-long clamp on her nose and mouth had finally released. A little over 20 minutes later, a white SUV pulled up right in front of her. Chen Shui stepped out of the driver's seat. She was wearing loungewear under a hastily thrown-on puffer jacket. Her hair was just messily twisted into a bun. She gave Xianwan a quick once-over. Her gaze fixed on the swollen cheek for 2 seconds. She asked nothing. All she said was, get in. Xianwan pulled open the passenger door and climbed in. Heat blasted her. Her nose stung, and she broke down. Tears started streaming down her face in torrents. Chen Shui didn't say a word, just handed over a pack of tissues. Xianwan grabbed tissues, buried her face, and sobbed. Chen Shui pulled the car onto the road. At a red light, she squeezed Xianwan's shoulder. First, we eat. The noodle shop's good. Just eat, then talk. Xianwan shook her head. I can't eat. Then kanji. Look at you, if you don't eat, it'll swell more. Xianwan just choked back a sob and stayed silent. Chen Shui didn't push it. She parked outside her apartment and turned off the engine. Xianwan suddenly spoke up, her voice broken. He wants a divorce. Chen Shui turned her head sharply. Who wants to divorce who? Wang Jiwei. She paused, touching her face. His sister slapped me. I threw soup in his face. His mother made me kneel and apologize. I said no. I said I wanted a divorce. Chen Shui just sat there in silence for a few seconds. Then she pushed the car door open and got out. She opened Xianwan's door. Finish the story inside. It's too much to explain just standing here. The noodle shop was a tiny spot on the building's ground floor. The owner, Sister He, was on very familiar terms with Chen Shui. Seeing them, she called, Xiao Chen. You're late, hey. Her eyes found Xianwan. What happened? She tripped. Chen Shui didn't blink. 2 bowls of shredded pork noodles. Extra scallions. Sister He knew Chen Shui wasn't one for small talk. She didn't push further and went to the kitchen. Xianwan slid into the booth. Her hands wrapped around the hot tea Chen Shui had poured for her. Warmth returned to her fingers. The shop was quiet. A local news channel droned on the TV, a constant, low hum. Head bowed, she stumbled through the events of the day, bit by bit. When she got to the part about Zhang Liying's slap, Chen Shui's hand, which was peeling a tea egg, paused midair. When she recounted the soup throwing, Chen Shui's lips twitched. Good throw. Chen Shui placed the perfectly peeled egg into Xianwan's bowl. Eat. Xianwan picked it up with her chopsticks and took a bite. It was still too hot, and she hissed in a breath. Chen Shui nudged the vinegar bottle towards her. 2 steaming bowls of noodles arrived. Xianwan finished most of her bowl. As her stomach warmed, her chest loosened slightly. You're staying at my place tonight. I put fresh sheets in the guest room last week. Chen Shui finished eating and wiped her mouth. She pulled out her phone to glance at it. Any messages on your end? Then Xianwan recalled her phone had been on silent. She swiped open the screen. Over 30 unread messages on WeChat. A dozen or so from Wang Jiwei. A few from Xiao Yuqin. A few from Zhang Liying. And a whole lot more in the in-laws family group chat. She opened Wang Jiwei's messages first. Nuan, where are you? It's so cold outside. Please come home. I know I messed up. I really know it now. Just come home, okay? Mom says she didn't mean it, just angry words. I'll hold back my sister. Please don't be scared. Come home. You're not answering. I'm worried. Text me back. Another one, sent over 10 minutes later. Nuan, 2 years of us, you're really just throwing it all away? Xianwan read through every message and set the phone aside. Not a flicker of expression on her face. Chen Shui shot her a glance. He refuses to divorce. He says he won't divorce. Xianwan gave a bitter laugh. Yet his mom holds my salary card, and the deeds in his name alone. His sister calls the shots, he dares not speak. That man? What, keep him around for the holidays? So what's holding you back? Xianwan shook her head. I'm not hesitating. Just thinking, what was I even chasing these last 2 years? Chen Shui didn't touch that question. She stood up, walked over, and scanned the code to pay the bill. When she came back, she glanced at her phone again. Her eyebrow arched. Well, your in-laws sure are a piece of work. She held the screen out in front of Xianwan. The Zhang family's big group chat, crawling with relatives. Xianwan had been dragged in ages ago and kept it on mute ever since. But Chen Shui wasn't in that group. A mutual friend screenshotted and shared it. In it, Zhao Yuqin was sobbing theatrically in a long voice message. Crystal clear once transcribed, that girl Xianwan. I always knew she had a petty streak. Today she finally showed her true colors. Her sister-in-law said a kind word, just to help. She threw a bowl of hot soup at her face. Nearly disfigured lying, nearly. Now she stormed off. No calls, no texts. Left the whole family. Is that how to act? If word of this gets out, where can the Zhang family show their faces? All agreed. Aunt San, young folks, so rude. Aunt Air, that wife's temper needs fixing. Mother Bai tried to calm her, take a breath, she's young. Just give her a... No one brought up that slap. Xianwan stared at the messages. The cold knot in her chest slowly hardened into ice. She typed, post the video of Zhang Liying slapping me. Let's see who's right. If they were so bold. She deleted it. Pointless. She quit the group outright. Open Zhao Yuqin's chat, Zhang Liying slapped me. The whole restaurant heard it. If you think she was in the right, then we're done. My lawyer will draft divorce papers. I won't touch Wang Jiwei's paycheck anymore. But you will return my share. I'm coming tomorrow. We'll end this. Sent. Then she blocked Zhao Yuqin. Chen Shui watched from the side. Patted her shoulder, let's go upstairs. Rest well. Tomorrow's problems are for tomorrow. Xianwan nodded. She followed Chen Shui out of the noodle shop. The night had grown dark. Streetlights stretched their shadows across the grounds. At the building entrance, Xianwan paused. Chen Shui looked back. What's wrong? Clutching her phone, Xianwan's voice was hoarse. Can we just not tell my parents yet? Chen Shui looked at her swollen cheek and was silent for a few seconds. Nodded, we'll wait. I'm here when you're ready. They took the elevator up. Chen Shui's apartment wasn't big, but it was tidy. 2 bedrooms, 1 living room. Guest sheets were fresh. You could still smell the faint scent of laundry detergent. Chen Shui dug a bag of ice from the freezer. Wrapped ice in a towel, sleep with this. Swelling will fade by morning. Xianwan took it and pressed it to her face. She hissed in pain. Just shout if you need anything. Chen Shui yawned. I have to be at the construction site early. Sleep in. She closed the door and left. Xianwan sat alone on the edge of the guest bed. Clutching ice, staring at city lights. Phone lit up again. Wang Jiwei. She didn't look. She just switched on Do Not Disturb, turned over, and lay down. The ice numbed the pain on her face. But as she closed her eyes, there was Zhang Liying's smug, arrogant face. Zhao Yuqin sipping her soup like nothing had happened. Images flickered in her mind. She tossed all night. She finally slipped into restless sleep at dawn. In her dream, she was still in that restaurant. But this time, everyone was frozen in place, like wax statues. She walked around holding the soup pot, and couldn't find a single person to throw it at. At the table's end, she saw her younger self. Standing awkwardly at the Zhang family's doorstep in a red sweater. Hands twisted together, her smile nervous but full of hope. As she reached out, the alarm rang. 6:30 a.m. The sky was still dark. Xianwan rubbed her eyes and sat up. Face swelling eased, but bruise stayed vivid. A purple mark ran to her jaw like ink. She got up to brush her teeth and wash her face. Chen Shui had already left. She texted, sandwich and fridge. Heat 1 minute. I'm heading to the firm this afternoon. Call me if you need anything. Xianwan heated the sandwich, but she had no appetite. She took 2 bites and put it down. She pulled out her phone and turned it on. Jiwei had sent over 40 messages from last night until now. The last one was from 2 a.m., Nuan. I'll be waiting for you outside your office tomorrow. She replied with one line, 8:30 a.m. My old house. Once I get my things, we go finalize the paperwork. After sending it, she pocketed her phone and walked out the door. The bus ride took about 40 minutes, bumpy and slow. She was standing downstairs at the Zhang family estate at 8:25 a.m. The early winter wind was biting. She took a deep breath. Her cheek throbbed. She knocked upstairs. Wang Jiwei opened the door. Dark circles ringed his eyes. He clearly hadn't slept a wink. He saw Xianwan's face. He flinched back. Nuan, your face, did my sister hit you? You saw it with your own eyes yesterday. Xianwan sidestepped and squeezed past him into the apartment. In the living room, Zhao Yuqin was sitting on the sofa. A cup of cold tea sat untouched in front of her. Zhang Ling wasn't there. Wang Jicheng and Tao Tao weren't around either. Probably laying low to avoid the drama. Wang Jibin was sitting by the dining table, scrolling on his phone. He glanced up for a second, then looked back down. Zhang Deshan wasn't on the balcony this time. He was sitting next to Zhao Yuqin, clutching an unlit cigarette in his fingers. He watched Xianwan walk in. His lips moved, but in the end, he said nothing. What are you doing here? Last night's drama isn't over yet, and here you are, barging in. I'm here for my things. Xianwan stood in the center of the living room. She put her bag on the table. ID card, household page. Clothes for the season, skincare, and a few personal items. I'll grab my stuff. Marriage certificate. You assault someone and walk out? Marriage certificate. I threw soup, didn't assault anyone here. Xianwan corrected her. She was the one who slapped me. If she's willing, we can explain at the police station. I have nothing to hide. Zhao Yuqin stood up, choked with rage. Her finger trembled. You've got some nerve playing the victim. Whether I have a case or not isn't for you to decide. Xianwan turned her head to look at Wang Jiwei. You, come with me to the bedroom. Get my stuff out. Wang Jiwei opened his mouth, then glanced at Zhao Yuqin. Zhao Yuqin barked, don't you dare take a thing. Until we sort out today's mess once and for all. Nobody touches a single item in this household. This household? Xianwan smirked. 200,000 of the down payment came from my parents. My name's not on the deed. Fine, I won't fight for it. That was my father's life savings. If you call this the household, then you can start by returning that 200,000 to my folks. Zhao Yuqin's face turned ashen in an instant. Zhang Dashan finally put his cigarette down. He cleared his throat. Yuqin, let her take her things. They belong to her. Old Zhang. Zhao Yuqin glared at him. She threw soup all over someone. We're just letting this slide? Liang couldn't sleep all night. Her arm is red and burned. And what about the slap? Xianwan turned and stared straight at her mother-in-law. You see this mark on my face? When she slapped me across the face, you took a sip of your soup. Can you tell me, how did that soup taste? Zhao Yuqin's lips trembled, she couldn't find the words. Wang Jiwei finally made a move. He tugged at Xianwan's sleeve. Nuan. Just stop. I'll go get your things with you. Xianwan shook his hand off. She followed him into the bedroom. The bedroom was exactly as she'd left it yesterday. The suitcase lay open on the floor. The clothes she'd packed earlier still inside. Jiwei grabbed her document box from the top of the wardrobe. Then crouched down to search the vanity drawers. It's all here. He handed the tin box to Xianwan. Xianwan took it and was about to put it into her bag. Her gaze caught a brown envelope deep in the drawer. There's a bank logo on it. Wang Jiwei clearly didn't notice what it was. She reached in and pulled it out. Wang Jiwei froze for a moment. He glanced at the cover. Oh, that's mine, left here a while ago. It's something like a bank statement, I think. A matured deposit or something. What's that? Xianwan held the craft paper envelope. Her fingertips tracing the rough texture of the paper. She didn't open it immediately. She just looked up at Wang Jiwei. Her voice dropped dangerously low. Your mother put her bank statement in your drawer? Wang Jiwei scratched the back of his head. His eyes shifty. Just the other day. She couldn't find her glasses, asked me to keep it. I just stuffed it in the drawer. Forgot. Xianwan repeated the word slowly. She tore open the envelope, pulling out the printed copies in black Song Ti font. The first page was the account details. The account holder's name was Zhao Yuqin. Xianwan spotted recurring notes, salary transfer. She flipped back. The most recent deposit was the 15th of last month. 8,400 yuan. And before that, every single month, a similar sum had been deposited. For over a year now. This is money from my salary card. Xianwan held the paper right in front of Wang Jiwei's eyes. 8,400 monthly, from my card to her account. Wang Jiwei, tell me what the hell is going on. Wang Jiwei's face went white in an instant. He reached out to grab it. Xianwan stepped back, pressing the paper to her chest. Nuan, just listen to me. Mom said she was saving it for us. For a bigger house later. My salary card's with her, she takes 8,400 each month. And you're telling me she's saving it for us? Xianwan took a step forward, cornering him. I've seen my pay stubs. Every single month. After taxes and insurance, I take home 8,500. Which means, apart from 100 yuan they leave me for the subway and food. The rest stays in her card. His voice faded. Not, well, she gives me a few hundred for spending. Zhang's voice dimmed. A few hundred. Xianwan let out a short laugh. Her smile was cold. Married a year and 7 months. Her records show 17 months. 8,400 times 17, that's 142,800 yuan. Plus 50,000 household allowance I gave her before the wedding. That's a total of 192,800 yuan. Wang Jiwei, that's my dowry from my parents, and over a year of my salary. It's all sitting in your mom's account now. How dare you say this was just safekeeping? Zhao Yuqin stands in the doorway. Her face dark. Jiwei, get it back. That's the Zhang family's money. She can't touch it. Xianwan turns around. Shoving the statement, the Zhang family's money? Every transfer here was my sweat and blood. Madam, if you think this was all a filial offering I owed you, let's do the math. For over a year, I came every weekend to cook 2 meals for you. Market rate is 50 an hour, 4 hours each time. 8 times a month, 96 times a year, 200 per visit. That's 3,200 yearly, 6,400 for 2. Add groceries, fruit, supplements I bought. A conservative estimate of 30,000. So, bottom line, you took 190k of mine. I owe 6,400. Give back the rest. Then we're even. Zhao Yuqin snatches the statement and tears it to shreds. The scraps drift to the floor like snow. How insolent. You married into the Zhang family, so what's yours is ours. Jiwei is my son. It's only right and natural that I hold his salary card. You earn that little and hide it? Keeping it for your folks? My card's with you. I accepted it, because you said us young people can't manage money. Xianwan speaks, biting off each word. But what I didn't know was that you would leave me with only $100 a month. That 100 was just enough for my daily subway commute. But not for breakfast. Not for sanitary pads. Not for a new pair of socks. For over a year. I've been wearing my wedding shoes. Using an old phone from my college days. Even my shampoo was hoarded from supermarket clearance sales. Do you know, last month I passed out from cramps in the bathroom? All because I couldn't afford painkillers? Wang Jiwei's head jerks up. Nuan. When did you get dizzy? Why didn't you tell me? Tell you? Xianwan looks at him. Tell you, and then what? Were you going to wrestle that $100 back from your mom? Next time she calls me trash, say that's my pay? Wang Jiwei opens his mouth, but no words come out. Zhao Yuqin scoffs. So dramatic. In my day, we had babies and went straight back to the fields. You young girls are so delicate. Besides, you eat and live under the Zhang family's roof. What exactly do you need that $100 for? Enough to buy your snacks and makeup, I'd say. The food I eat, I bought with my own money. Even the milk you drink was the cheapest brand I could find. Xianwan took a tattered little notebook out of her bag. This is my ledger. October 3rd last year, spare ribs, $28.50. October 7th, a 50-pound sack of rice, $120. Your blood pressure meds, $98. All logged. Ma'am, I invite you to take a look. Over this past year or so, how much of Zhang's money did I spend on board? She tossed the ledger at Zhao Yuqin's feet. It fell open. The pages were crawling with dense handwriting, like ants. Zhao Yuqin glanced down. Her expression shifted. The numbers were so painfully specific, down to the price of every scallion and clove of garlic, plus totals for every dish he'd mentioned. He froze, too proud to pick it up. Don't you move. Zhang Liying's voice came from the living room. Today, she wore a turtleneck to hide the red marks on her neck. But her right wrist was still wrapped in gauze. She walked to the door, saw the ledger on the floor, and sneered. A ledger? You schemed from day one. No wonder you had the guts to throw soup at me yesterday. You hoarded spite to steal our assets. Xianwan turned to her. My name isn't on this deed. You and your son hold every cent. What's to steal? I'm just asking for my rightful wages and dowry back. That's called taking back what's mine, not stealing family assets. What's yours? Zhang Liang pointed at the gauze on her wrist. You threw a pot of soup at me and scalded me like this. You still owe me for medical bills. And my blouse. Real silk. 8,000. Can you afford that? I can pay the medical bills. Xianwan said calmly. Right after you explained that slap from yesterday. I already backed up the security footage. Mom says property maintenance just happened. But I seem to remember Wang Jibin was holding his phone. Jibin, did you record it yesterday? Wang Jibin scrolling at the door froze. He looked up at Xianwan, then at Zhang Liang. He said slowly, I did. But sis told me to delete it. Wang Jibin, Zhang Liang shrieked. Are you asking to die? Did you delete it or not? Xianwan fixed her gaze on him. Wang Jibin swallowed hard. He pulled his phone from his pocket, opened the gallery, and pulled up a video. I didn't delete all of it. I clipped a segment. On the screen, Zhang Liang raises her hand. The crisp slap echoes even through the phone speaker. Xianwan's face whips to the side. Her left cheek swells red. Clips about 10 seconds. But it's more than enough to see the whole story. Send that to me. Xianwan holds out her hand. Wang Jibin hesitates. He hits forward. Xianwan's phone vibrates. The video comes through. Don't you dare. Zhang Liang lunges to grab the phone. Xianwan sidesteps her. This clip, combined with the hospital's injury report, is more than enough for me to file a police report. Xianwan stares at Zhang Liang. Assault and battery. Even minor injury starts a case. Your burns? I threw the soup, but it was in self-defense after you attacked me. That's legitimate defense. Even at the absolute worst, if I'm found guilty of excessive force, compensation won't exceed your claimed 8,000. But that slap, combined with my facial injury report? We can do the math on that, very carefully. Zhang Liang's face goes pale. She stumbles back 2 steps, crashing into Zhao Yuqin. Zhao Yuqin steadies her daughter, glaring at Xianwan with pure venom. Just try calling the cops. Leak this, how's the Zhang reputation? Reputation? Xianwan lets out a laugh. Yesterday, while you were sipping soup watching me get slapped. Where was that when your daughter hit me publicly? You called it teaching me manners. Now you're afraid of looking bad? Jiwei, Zhao Yuqin turns and screams. Are you dead? Your wife is going to call the cops on your sister. Are you just going to stand there? Wang Jiwei is frozen in place. He looks at Xianwan's sleeping face. He looks at the gauze on Zhang Liang's wrist. Then he sees his mother's twisted expression. His lips tremble. He finally forces out a single sentence. Mom, maybe, sis should just give Wan her money back first? You. Zhao Yuqin shrieks like a cat whose tail has been stepped on. That's our family's money. Why the hell should we give it back to her? Because it was my salary. Xianwan cuts her off. Madam, if you insist on keeping it, I have 3 options. First, I take this video to the police station and charge Zhang Liang with assault, while freezing all accounts under your name. Second, I'll spread the Zhang's deeds at my parents' work and my company, so I'll know how the Zhangs teach their daughter-in-law. I'm filing for divorce and getting a court order to investigate. I want to pull every single bank statement from you and Wang Jiwei. Let's see how much you've saved for us. She paused. Her gaze swept over every face in the living room. Wang Jiwei. Your mother only took my salary. But your card? That's 20 grand a month. How much of that did he siphon off? Do you have the guts to make him print out his bank records too? Wang Jiwei's face instantly lost all color. Of course he knew his salary card was also in his mother's grip. She gave him a pathetic 2,000 a month in pocket money. His mother claimed she held it for investment. He never questioned her loyalty. Mom. Wang Jiwei's voice trembled. Is what Wan said true? My salary? Zhao Yuqin's expression twisted and shifted. Finally, she shot Xianwan a venomous glare. Spun around, storming off, mutiny. Absolute mutiny. Jiwei, get in here, now. Wang Jiwei glanced at Xianwan. His eyes conflicted, but in the end, he followed her inside. The bedroom door was left ajar. Xianwan could hear the muffled, heated argument from within. Mom, just give Wan her money back, please. Look at her face, it's so swollen. It was Wang Jiwei's voice. Give it back? I put that money in a fixed-term deposit ages ago. Part of it already went to lying for her mortgage. Zhao Yuqing's voice was shrill. Besides, she dares to call the cops? She dares to post that video online? If it gets out, that's our Zhang family's reputation in the gutter. And that bitch Xianwan won't get off easy either. But Nuanwan said she's going to sue for divorce, Mom. I don't want a divorce. Wang Jiwei's voice broke. Haven't I been good to her these 2 years? How can she be so cruel? She wouldn't dare. Her name's not on this deed. All the savings are with me. If she divorces me, she leaves with nothing. She's just bluffing. Zhao Yuqing sneered. When we go out there, tell her I'll think about returning the money. But she has to delete that video right now. And she's never to bring this up again. Otherwise, I'd like to see her try something. Xianwan heard every word clearly outside. She texted Zhang Jiwei, I'm in the living room. If you're not out here in 10 minutes, I'm calling the police. 2 minutes after the message was sent, the bedroom door opened. Wang Jiwei walked out, eyes red-rimmed. Zhao Yuqing followed close behind, her face so dark and brooding it looked like thunder ready to burst. Nuanwan, Wang Jiwei wrung his hands like a guilty child. Mom said she can pay you back, but you'll have to wait a few days. That money is locked in a 3-year fixed deposit. If we withdraw it now, we'll lose too much interest. Xianwan cut him off. You deposited it last October. It's been exactly 1 year and 2 months. Early withdrawal earns demand rate. Lose a few thousand at most. Compared to my 190,000, what's a few thousand? Zhao Yuqing gritted her teeth. What do you know? That interest is still money. Fine, Xianwan nodded. Then calculated demand rate. Total with interest, 193k. You'll pay me back 100,000 today. Remaining 93k must be paid in full by the 15th next month. If you can't pay, I'll see you in court. As for Zhang Liying's medical bills and the blouse, I can pay, but only after he first writes me a letter of apology. Admitting that he started the fight yesterday, and dropped the soup charges. Apology? No way. Zhang Liying shrieked. Why should I apologize to her? She disrespected the elders first. Then let's take this to the police station. Xianwan picked up her phone. I'll call the police right now. And send the video to the officers. Let them be the judge. Is disrespecting an elder grounds for assault, or is it self-defense? She pretended to dial. Zhang Liying lunged and pressed down on her hand. Don't you dare. Let go. Xianwan stared at her. Or I'll see you too. For snatching my phone. And obstructing a police report. Zhang Liying's hand froze. She slowly released it and turned to Zhao Yuqing. Mom. She's trying to ruin us. Zhao Yuqing took a deep breath. As if making a huge decision. Fine. We can pay the money back. But you must agree to 3 conditions. First, delete the video. Wipe the original file and all backups. Second, you never bring up what happened yesterday. No word outside. Third, marriage stays intact. If you dare to file for divorce, you won't see a single cent, Mom. Wang Jiwei panicked. Aren't you asking the impossible of Nuanwan? Shut up. Zhao Yuqing glared at him. You have the nerve to speak? You can't even control your wife. Now I have to clean up your mess. Xianwan looked at Zhao Yuqing. Suddenly, it all seemed so ridiculous. She put her phone away, pulled a pen and a notepad from her bag, and scribbled a few lines. She tore it off and handed it to Zhao Yuqing. Madam, you've misunderstood something. I'm not negotiating with you. I am notifying you. Pay up, or see you in court. As for divorce, she turned her head to look at Wang Jiwei. Her eyes were placid, like a dead pool of water. Wang Jiwei, this divorce is happening. Not your mother, not your sister. Because of you. Yesterday, when he hit me, you just watched. When your mother cursed me out, you just watched. When I threw the soup, you just watched. Always watching. Always waiting, always terrified of upsetting Mommy dearest. I didn't marry you to have a spectator. I needed a husband who would stand up and protect me. You didn't. So, we're done. Tears immediately streamed down Wang Jiwei's face. Nuan, I was wrong. Give me one more chance. I'll defend you from now on. If my mom yells, I swear I'll stop her. No more. Xianwan shook her head. There is no from now on. That slap yesterday, the soup I hurled, and this 190,000 in bank records. They've already shattered any possible future. She bent down and picked up the ledger from the floor, dusted it off, and stuffed it into her bag. She turned to Zhao Yuqing. 100,000 in my account, 3 days. Remaining 93,000, paid by next month's 15th. 1 day late, and I'll charge a penalty of 0.5% interest per day. As for Zhang Liying's apology letter, 3 days to decide. No letter, I call the cops. If he writes it, I'll pay his medical bills and for the shirt. Actual invoices only, no inflated claims. You. Zhao Yuqin pointed a trembling finger at her. You think you're tough now, huh? You married into our family, ate our food, lived under our roof, and now you turn around and bite the hand that fed you? Every cent I ate and spent was my own money. Xianwan hoisted her canvas bag. Auntie, if you think I bit you, feel free to take me to court. I have my pay stubs, my ledger, video evidence. And Wang Jibin here as a witness. Who'll the judge believe, you or me? She grabbed her suitcase. Its wheels rumbling across the wooden floor. She paused at the door. And without looking back, said, Wang Jiwei, my lawyer will send divorce papers. For assets. I only want my salary and dowry. House and car are yours. But if your mother refuses to pay back what's mine, I'll file for an asset freeze and have this apartment seized. After all, 200,000 of the down payment was my parents'. The door opened and closed. This time, no one chased after her. Xianwan dragged her suitcase down the stairs, her footsteps echoing through the empty stairwell. She pulled out her phone and texted Chen Shui. Babe. I got it. Dinner's on me tonight. Chen Shui replied instantly, send me the address. Oh, and I've got a friend who's a divorce attorney. I can set up a meeting for you guys if you need. Xianwan felt a warm sting behind her eyes reading the message. She replied, sounds good, sis. Then left. The early winter sun hit her face. Her bruise glowed purple. She touched it. Didn't even hurt anymore. Her phone buzzed again. A voice message from Wang Jiwei. She hit play. His voice was choked with tears. Nuan, please come back. My mom just slapped me. I never should have let you go. I'll fix this. Xianwan listened. Until the message ended. Then she long pressed the screen. Delete. Next, she pulled up Wang Jiwei's profile picture. Blocked. Done. She took a deep breath. Sky was piercing blue, clouds light. Wind felt warmer. She put in earbuds. Played an upbeat song, dragged her suitcase on. Passing a pharmacy, she ducked inside and grabbed some painkillers. Tossed in a pack of sanitary pads, too. At the checkout, the cashier asked if she needed a bag. She smiled. Yes, please. Thank you. Stepping back outside, she shoved the pads and pills into her tote, leaving just a flimsy pharmacy bag. Sunlight scattered off the plastic. Flashback, soup flew, broth spilled. Golden corn. Dark red jujubes. And that perfect arc, slicing through the tension. In that moment, she'd thrown away a year of shame. Now, waking from a suffocating nightmare. Her face still hurt. Her heart still ached. But she was free. Bus arrived. She boarded, dropped a token. Found a window seat and settled in. The bus lurched forward. The world outside the glass scrolled backward. The Zhang family estate grew smaller and smaller in the distance, until it finally vanished, swallowed by the curve of the road. Xianwan leaned on cold glass, watching the city. Her phone lit up. A message from the lawyer friend. A huge block of text. Meticulously detailing every document and step required for a divorce. She read, tapping quick replies. At her stop, she got off. The sun blazed. She squinted. And started walking toward the restaurant address Chen Shui had sent. Past a bridal shop with white gowns. She paused, stared, then walked on. She didn't need a wedding dress anymore. What she needed was an apartment in her own name. A bank account under her own control. A future free from others' whims. I'll earn it myself. That evening, 7 p.m. Xianwan and Chen Shui sat in a small bistro. Chen Shui ordered a few of Xianwan's favorite dishes. She opened juice. Tomorrow, I'll track the transfer at the bank with you. Get that 100K moved into your own account. My lawyer friend says. Classic case of one side maliciously moving marital assets. If you sue, the odds of winning are very high. But Chen Shui looked at her. You need to brace yourself. Your mother-in-law might play dirty. Like transferring the cash to Zhang Liang. Or claiming they've already spent it all. Xianwan nodded. I know. If she refuses to return it, I'll sue. If it takes forever, so be it. I have the stamina. And Zhang Liang's apology letter? She won't write it. Xianwan smirked. She's way too proud. Why would she apologize to me? Doesn't matter. I have the video. If she refuses, I'll just call the cops. A quick chat with police beats any letter. Chen Shui laughed. Look at you now, so philosophical. It's not philosophy. It's clarity. Xianwan picked up a bite of food. I always thought if I just endured it, things would blow over. Now I see. Some people worsen if you yield. The more you swallow, the more they think you're prey. She paused, touching the bruise on her left cheek. That slap was worth it. 3 days later, Xianwan received the first transfer, 100,000, from Zhao Yuqin's account. The note just read, repayment. She didn't reply. She simply moved the funds to her brand new bank account. This card wasn't linked to any family member's phone number. The PIN was her secret alone. That same evening, Wang Jiwei came looking for her downstairs at her office. He looked gaunt, eyes sunken. The moment he saw her, tears welled up. Nuan Nuan. My mom repaid it. Come home. Let's live quietly, okay? She stood inside the glass lobby doors, watching him. He was wearing that same old gray down jacket. His hair was a mess, and he clutched a thermal container. She hit the answer button, her voice flat. What do you want? I made you soup. You missed lotus root pork rib soup. Wang Jiwei held up the container. I've been practicing for ages. I promise, it tastes pretty good. Xianwan stared at that container. And recalled the soup she'd thrown that day, same ingredients. Different hands, but the ending would probably taste the same. Don't bother. Wang Jiwei. Let's get a divorce. The papers are in your email. You have 3 days to think it over. If you don't sign, I'll sue. I'm not signing. Wang Jiwei raised his voice. I'm not getting a divorce. Nuan Nuan, I love you. Have you forgotten when we first got together? You had a fever. I carried you to the hospital. You worked late, I brought you supper. You said you wanted to see a concert. I queued all night for tickets. Have you forgotten all of that? I haven't forgotten, Xianwan said. But that day, you forgot. You forgot to stand up and protect me. Forgot to say, don't hit her. Forgot to even pull me away, Wang Jiwei. Love isn't spoken. It's acted. I remember all those loving acts you did. But yesterday's forgetfulness, I remember that too. She hung up, turned to the elevator. Wang Jiwei was still pounding on the glass. A guard stopped him, he sobbed. Xianwan didn't look back. The moment the elevator doors closed, her bruise had faded to yellow. Like a faded birthmark. 1 month later, Xianwan received a court summons. It wasn't divorce proceedings. It was Zhang Liang's indictment for assault and battery. Attached were medical bills, a receipt for the blouse, and a demand for so-called emotional distress. The total was a staggering 120,000. She took the summons straight to the law firm. The lawyer, Li, was a sharp, no-nonsense woman. After hearing her story, and reviewing the videos and chat logs on her phone, she smirked. Let's countersue. Sue Zhang Liang for assault and battery. While we're at it, request the police report and injury assessment. 120K? We'll counter with damages. And lost wages. Let's make it 200,000 total. Won't it be too much trouble? Xianwan asked. Lawyer Li raised an eyebrow. She hit you first. And now she's suing you? We have an extremely strong case here. Besides, doesn't your mother-in-law still owe you that 93,000? We can include that claim in the lawsuit. Apply for a property preservation order. Xianwan nodded. Then I'll leave it with you, Lawyer Li. Leaving the law firm, she sent a text to Wang Jiwei. Your sister is suing me. I'm countersuing. Also, the remaining 93,000, pay on time. Or seize assets. See you in court. Wang Jiwei didn't reply. The next day, Zhao Yuqin called. The moment she picked up, a wail, Xianwan. Are you even human? We were so kind to pay you back. And you dare sue us? Rot in hell, Xianwan. Xianwan listened in silence. She waited until the sobbing subsided before speaking. Auntie, Zhang Liang is the one who sued me first. I'm merely exercising my legal rights. Also, The remaining balance of 93,000 is due on the 15th of next month. Please pay it on time. Or I'll have to seize this house through court. As for hell, I'm living fine, actually. Spare me your concern. She hung up the phone and blocked Zhao Yuqin's number. In the days that followed, Xianwan's life settled into a steady and fulfilling rhythm. Day job, law firm paperwork at night. Weekends were for organizing accounts and evidence. She moved out of Qinshua's place, renting a tiny studio. Though it was only 20 square meters. Having a space of her own gave her peace. She bought herself a new phone, new clothes, new shoes. No longer needing to scrimp and save for sales. 2 months later, the court was in session. Xianwan sat in the plaintiff's seat, staring across at Zhang Liying, Zhao Yuqin, and Wang Jiwei. Zhang Liying's wrist was still in a brace. Zhao Yuqin's face was twisted with hatred. Wang Jiwei hung his head, unable to look at her. The trial lasted 3 hours. Attorney Li presented the video evidence, the injury assessment, the salary records, the ledger, and the eyewitness testimony from Wang Jibin. The judge played the video right then and there. Footage clearly showed Zhang Liying swing. Her lawyer called it discipline. But Li shut it down. Judge called recess. Verdict later. Leaving courthouse. Wang Jiwei rushed after her, grabbing Xianwan's sleeve. Nuan, why are you taking things this far? We could have talked this through. Talked. Xianwan shook off his hand. Wang Jiwei, I gave you chances. From that first slap the day before yesterday. I gave you countless chances. You chose to stand by your mother and your sister. Now, there's nothing left to talk about between us. She turned and walked away. Her high heels clicked sharply against the concrete. Wang Jiwei stood frozen, watching her silhouette, until she vanished around the corner. A month later, the court verdict was handed down. Zhang Liying got 3 months for assault, 6 months probation, and compensation to Xianwan for damages, totaling 58,000 yuan. Most of Xianwan's counterclaims were upheld by the court. And interest. Court ordered Zhao to repay 9,000 yuan plus interest by deadline. And interest. That same day, the divorce decree came through. Granted. The asset split followed the plan Xianwan had proposed. She reclaimed her own salary and her dowry. The house and car went to Wang Jiwei. But because Zhao Yuqin failed to meet her repayment obligations, the court legally seized the Zhang family estate. It was to be put up for auction. When the news reached the Zhangs, Zhao Yuqin collapsed on the spot and was rushed to the hospital. During Zhang Liying's probation, she has mandatory check-ins. And she lost her job. With the property seized, Wang Jiwei had no choice but to move back in with his mother. Daily, he bears mother's gripes and sister's blame. Xianwan didn't go to watch them fall. She moved her things out of the family estate. The last time she locked that door, she didn't look back. 6 months later, Xianwan got a promotion. She got a raise and used savings for the down payment. And bought a small, pre-owned apartment. During the renovation, she personally picked out every single tile, every light fixture, turning it into the home of her dreams. On moving day, Chen Shui came to help. A real home. Xianwan nodded and made 2 cups of tea. The sunlight outside was perfect, falling on the beige sofa, warm and bright. She pulled out her phone and scrolled to Wang Jiwei's WeChat. Chat stuck on his message from months ago, he'd sent more. She never read them. Now she deleted the thread. Then she opened her moments and changed the setting to only allow viewing the last 3 days. Her latest post was a photo, a pothose plant on her new balcony. Lush green leaves. Caption, a new life starts today. Setting down her phone, she lifted her teacup and took a gentle sip. Tea's bitter start gave way to a sweet, lingering finish. Just like her life.